Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So it's the final video for our money grinding themed week, which means a mixture of content will be coming back next week. And to finish it off, I saw a few comments that kind of gave me a bit of inspiration to basically make this, I guess, more personal video to me. Basically where this channel all began and, really started to gain momentum and take off. So this car's been around the channel for a while, and I have actually done this guide before, however I never really went in depth. This is the Nissan Silvia Spec R Aero S15 touring car, which is in Group 4 category and requires a few upgrades and pretty much becomes a Le Mans winning monster. Now, if you've been around for a while, you may actually remember that this car actually features in my, I guess, most viewed video, and basically in quite a lot of them really, and it really does have a special place, to me. So the wheel parts we're going to be using is the Volk Racing TE37s. It did come with delivery. As you can see, we've got the standard 18-inch and both standard size for the rim width and offset. For the rear spoiler, we've got a custom wing set. We've got a low wing with Type 7 end plates. Sometimes it does kind of affect how much aero you can get on the car, and it actually will affect your PP balance. So the actual setup for the car, you need hard tyres, and you also need a set of intermediates and heavy wet just in case it rains. We are going for a 700 pp Le Mans build. Your body height at the front is 70 and at the rear is 85. Anti-roll bar at the front is 5 and 6 at the rear. Dampening ratio compression is 30 on both the front and the rear. Dampening ratio expansion is both 40 at the front and the rear. Up after that is natural frequency. It's 2.50 at the front and 3.0 at the back. Negative camber, 2.5 and 2.7 at the rear. Toe angle, one that confuses everyone, is outwards 0.10 and inwards 0.20 at the rear. None of this needs changing, but it is 10, 40 and 30. It's the default. You also want to make sure you've got the fully customizable racing transmission. Set that to 300 just for a bit of extra straight line speed. No ballast or power restricting, so you can just leave that as is. Downforce at the front, we're running 161, quite low, and 278 again, quite low, but this is Le Mans, which is mostly made up for high speed straights. Medium RPM turbo is recommended to boost up that performance point rating, and nothing else needs changing. Feel free to pause at any moment. So just for those that don't know, it's going to be in Europe that you're going to head to. Then you're going to want to jump into the 24 Hours Du Mans or racing circuit, so it's Le Mans, and it's the middle one. It's the World Touring Car 700. So that's just for new players, because there's a pretty big influx of new players recently. To run this strategy, you want to set the car at fuel mix 6. You are not going to have to touch that at all during this race. On your opening lap, you just want to work your way through the AI. You do have a lot more performance than they do, although you are in Group 4. When it comes to sort of pace and handling, you are much quicker. I would actually recommend setting the AI to easy, just in case anything does go wrong. Essentially, you're just grinding for money, so there's no point in kind of penalising yourself. It's purely for the credits. Just a quick heads up. When it comes to the clean race bonus as well, this is again more for new players. I feel like experienced players will know this. The only way you can lose a clean race bonus is by overtaking during yellow flag conditions. Now, I've actually never had it happen to me at Le Mans, however I have heard of it happening, so just be careful. If you see a yellow flag and you're approaching cars, just be very careful and just hang back a bit. However, you should have cleared the field early on, so it shouldn't matter too much. However, when it comes to just hitting them or running off the track with time penalties, it will not affect that clean race bonus. As you can see, pace wise, we are hitting around about 180 even in fuel mix 6, so we have a massive straight line speed advantage. This car is very special for the way it kind of handles corners. It's definitely up there with, I'd say, the likes of the Alpha 155 when it comes to the way it handles. Very maneuverable, very easy to kind of handle. Although it may be one of the slower Group 4 cars, it's definitely no slouch when it comes to the corners. And as you can see, We're on lap 1, we're just coming off the main straight, and straight away we're with the main, well, I guess 3 front runners. We're going to quite easily get past the Suzuki, and then we're going to run in the slipstream of the Corvette, work away past him nice and easily, just pull out of it at the right time, and then again we're going to do the exact same and basically run in the slipstream of the Viper, pull out of it and basically take the lead and never look back at that point. So that is pretty much the AI over and done with. At this point it's all about your pure pace. On lap 2, I recommend just keeping an eye on that weather radar. Now, rain is pretty notorious around here. However, you're going to see pretty soon I actually had a dry run, and I guess it was dry in the sense of I did not have to go on any of the wet tyres. It did rain, but not enough to basically force myself and the AI to basically pit. The way I'd recommend doing it is basically if you see many gaps like so on the top, as you can see on the top right of the weather map, don't kind of overthink it or worry about it too much. There's probably enough gaps in there to basically cause the track to stay dry enough, but a lot of it is kind of down to how you monitor the weather. Obviously it's completely random each time. Sometimes you'll get a bit of rain in a dry run, and sometimes you'll get a lot of rain, just to prove that the sort of track limits, penalties and such don't affect the clean race bonus. You're going to see me serve mine here, and that is going to be it. So on to lap 4, and the rain has sort of come and passed. It's, you know, been on and off now for a little bit. The track's still remaining pretty much dry, and the AI, as you can see, have now begun to do their first lot of pit stops. We're actually going to be able to stretch out for an extra lap, so we're going to run 4 laps and then box for fuel. If it had been raining, we would have obviously boxed in earlier and basically made an early call. Something to note as well, if it rains, that works in your favour. The AI are terribly slow, and that will actually allow you to do a lap less. However, on lap 4, we're actually going to pit. As you can see, it's dry as basically the desert at this point. No rain coming down or no threat of rain. The clouds are nice and blue, and we're just going to pit for fuel. Obviously, we're running the hard compound, and although you can see a bit of tyre wear, it will never actually get to the point where it kind of affects the way you drive too much. I just recommend obviously taking fuel. It is up to you if you want to change tyres. However, for me it'd just be a waste of time, and after this nice big long pit stop that you get at Le Mans, obviously I'm just going to basically take the fuel and go. Quite quick to fill up. However, that big long run down to the pits is an absolute nightmare. You feel like you're waiting an eternity. And as you can see, obviously they've not put the tyres on. They are filling up straight to full, and that'll give us 4 more laps, and that is the one and only pit stop we will need to do in the race as we get back out on track and the skies remain blue, and no threat of rain at the present moment. However, as we get onto lap 6, I'm starting to think, okay, I can see more rain clouds. Are they going to hit? Are they going to miss? We're going to get quite lucky, and they're basically just going to drift off to the side. It just kind of greyed up the sky, and there was basically no rain to come. It would have really caught us out and made it a little bit more awkward towards the end if we'd have had a late shower. However, we're going to be pretty safe on the dries. And as you can see, from lap 6, we're going on to our final lap now, on to lap 7. And I'm just basically going to turn the engine up. I've got a couple of laps of fuel, and I've got pretty much enough fuel left just to basically hit full pace now, and it's actually going to work out perfectly, because even without the rain and such, we're still going to actually manage to finish pretty much dot on the 30-minute mark. We've actually ran that consistent and that quick around that we've managed to lap the I guess the backpack. Obviously you can see on the radar track map, that the cars are basically into different groups. We've managed to get onto the back of the group 4 cars, and we're basically just going to lap them. I've never really had this happen many times at Le Mans, so I thought it was pretty cool just to show that you can actually end up lapping them if you get a pretty much perfect run. So this is it. This is the last few corners on the last lap, and I'm kind of thinking, well, I might run out of fuel, so I've put it down to power mix 5 and 6. But in the end, I'm going to decide, you know what, I'm just going to go full pelt, take my time through the last few corners just to make sure the timer runs out, and then I'm basically just going to fly over the line. First place, not bothered by any of the AI, 3-minute gap, nice and easy as we take the win. So overall, we did the event in 30 minutes, 4 seconds, 0.690, with a fastest lap on lap 7 of 4 minutes, 6 seconds, 0.440. Obviously the engine was turned up to its maximum throughout that lap, so it's a little bit deceiving. However, like you can see, when you've done a dry run, it is possible to get some quick laps in, as we take home 825k in around about 30 minutes. And that is it. That is the money grinding week over and done with, and finished off with a very personal, special car to myself. So thank you to the people that actually recommended the Silvia, that must have never seen the original videos. It was really awesome to kind of jump back into the car that basically blew up my channel and got me kind of where I am today. So really awesome to finish off with something more personal. But I just want to thank you all for the continued support throughout this week. Like I said, money grinding guides aren't going anywhere. I will still look into your tunes and such, so feel free to continue to recommend them to myself. I will look into them and basically give credit. The best place to kind of get me is on Twitter or basically through my email. Thank you so much again for the support. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe, guys. Peace.